Well, welcome back, and this is my kitchen, and so I'm very happy that ourselves and Swedish can combine like this one and have you guys just watching in, especially you younger guys. What I really love doing is to take a whole range of very fresh produce. This is an Anaheim pepper, this is a rutabaga, and this purple top thing is a turnip. These are little peppers. This is a Jerusalem artichoke, a very interesting thing. Little knobbly fellow here, has a nice big sunflower that comes roaring out of it. This is a daikon radish. It's a kind of long Japanese radish. This is quite a small one. And this is tiny broccoli. It's called broccolini. And that's very nice in a stir-fry thing. And I just yanked this out of my own garden where it's overwintered. It's actually had snow this deep on top of it. Very marvelous, called matsai, which is a wonderful cabbagey kind of thing. And by the way, you might have noticed that with garlic, when you get garlic, it comes complete with a little piece of wispy, papery stuff on the outside. It's quite easy to take off usually, but sometimes it can be a little bit of a trial. And if you're going to try that, what you do is you just take the garlic, wrap it over with a piece of cloth like that, put it in the microwave, and count to 3. 1 and 2 and 3. No more than that. If you do that, you'll squish it. And then when you take it out, you'll be able to peel off that skin just easy. So I need that pan to be hot. And now what I will do here is I've got a soap container. And instead of soap, I have oil. And I happen to like an olive oil, but it could be canola oil as well. Those are 2 good oils that we can do. Now, I do that, and every time I do that, it's a ½ teaspoonful. That's now 2 teaspoonfuls of oil. That's now 3. That's about as much as I would ever put in. Now, some people put in 1/4 cup of oil. And I guess it does a good job, but unfortunately it's an awful lot of calories if you're watching the stuff that we put on and call weight. That's about what I need, with 3 green onions, 3 cloves of garlic, and the ginger as well. Now I put a little thing like this over the top of the garlic and smash it down. And then just run the knife blade through that just to sort of break it up. Do this as well. Now when you're cutting anything, use your fingers and roll them around and let the knife blade run up and down your knuckle there, okay? So that I'm actually pushing that blade forward, keeping the tip of the knife down, and using the heel is going up and back like that. Now I can put that in the pan. That pan is now hot, as you can see. And what I do then is I take it before it gets over browned, because I just wanted to release the natural oils from that. So I take that from there and I put it, I don't normally use a stray lid from it, but that's the only thing I had available. I want to put that 3 teaspoons back again. 1, 2, 3. First thing I'm going to put in is this little fellow here, which is the turnip. And the turnip is beautiful and white and thin. And in fact, this little thing here, if you eat it, is crunchy and sweet. I really like the flavor this is. It's strong, it's nice. I'd like you to try trying it before you use it. Okay, so I'm cut out little thin pieces, and I drop that in because that's going to take longer than the other things will take to cook. This other little thing here is the rutabaga, and that's the rutabaga, this one here, creamy colored, purple on the top, quite a small one, and I like them when they're small for a stir fry. Now, both are being moved around. As I said, having bitten one, you know that you can eat it even if it's raw, but now it's getting cooked a bit. The next item would be this Jerusalem artichoke. And this one I cut also in thin pieces, very much like the other pieces there. If they're all about the same size, then they're all going to cook about the same way. I do want to pick up a little of the natural sugars which occur in these vegetables here. I want some of that to caramelize, which means the sugars go to sort of like a toffee, because it gives a lovely flavor, and it doesn't happen if you keep moving it. It's really got to stop for a little while. And you'll notice I'm not using a wok. This is a high-sided saute pan. And this is actually, if you're going to buy a saute pan of any kind, or if Mum is going to buy it, to buy one which has a high side about 3 inches like this one is a very good idea. It's nice to get a variety of the colors into the pan. So now, all of a sudden, instead of just being cream colored, I've now got this lovely brightness from the vegetable being added to that. Here I've got the pieces of the broccolini. I just took the heavy stalk end and cut that off and left the tops here, which are much more tender. So the heavier the end, obviously, the longer that will take to cook. So far nothing has burned, and if you look carefully at that pan, you'll see that there is a gloss on that. And the gloss is the oil. A little oil goes really a long way. Now I can add the broccolini into the end. You see, if Mum's had a really tough day and the preparation is done, which really means you younger guys really working with Mum and Dad so that you get the knife work properly so that you don't cut yourself. But you could do some of the preparation work, even if it's at a lower level. Really, you can. I'm going to put the peas in those at that last moment and give those a stir around. And at that point in time, gosh, this is going to be good. This is the ginger and the garlic and the green onion. All right? Okay. And that's back in now. It's not going to scorch. It's little pieces, so it would scorch if I'd left it in. Oh, and the smell is just flat out gorgeous. And I've got the tops of a little green onion here that I'm going to put in at the last moment. That can be served just like that. Or you can do another kind of cute thing to it. You can take a little soy sauce. And by the way, this one, if I can show you, it says it's naturally brewed, it's less sodium. It has a good deal less sodium. All right, so I'm going to add some to this. I'm just going to shake that in. That would be about 2 tablespoonfuls. And just listen to it hiss. Wonderful. Look at that. Wow. Now, you can go one stage further. And this is where you apply a little chicken or vegetable broth, depending on if you want it completely vegetable, and you put that in the top. So now the chicken stock, and by the way, if I can show this to you, also less sodium. There's altogether too much of this salt stuff added to our food, and if you are going to do this properly, always get the lower sodium items and be very careful as you add the salt. All right, now I pull that off to the side of the stove. Take a little bit more of that stock from there, and what I've got here is cornstarch. You could have cornstarch or arrowroot. Now, if it's arrowroot, it will thicken instantly. You have to be very careful because it can be goopy. So, what I want to do now is just sprinkle this into the top. Because what I want to do here is to create, I want you to watch how glossy it gets. Just a little bit at a time, keep stirring it, and it needs to boil for 30 seconds in order to get the flavor or the starchiness out of the cornstarch. The cornstarch has a flavor to it. And if it boils for 30 seconds, all that flavor goes away. Now, see what happens? I need to get a little bit more. If I put in too much, it's going to go yucky. I mean, it's going to be like a warm jello, which is not a nice idea with vegetables. That's what I want. Now, sometimes when we're using less fat with things, I need a... There we go. You can see my mucky drawer. Okay, when we use less fat, the vegetable can go onto a plate and look flat. What can I show you to make it? Oh, I don't have anything to... Oh, well... if I put that on there, you can see there's no reflective light coming off the green. Right? So, what I've got here is I've now got reflected light coming off it. Do you see that? And do you see the caramelization that's taken place on that pepper there? All right. So, there we go. And that sauce now that's going over the top of it, that's lightly salted with that soy sauce. Let me just get a little colorful piece on the top there. Okay. All right. Before you ever serve anything, make sure you sop up any little spots that you've made by dropping. You probably say, oh, come on, Graham, this isn't a restaurant. Yes, it is. The most important people in the world are you and your family. I wanted to show you something in this odd way. If you serve some rice, this is a brown rice, and this is the way I make a large quantity of rice. And then I heat it up in the microwave, like that. And that beautifully done brown rice can then be served. It's frozen. This one I did about a month ago. And I haven't heated it up in this case, but just bear with me. That's how good it can be immediately. If you had to cook it at the same time that you're doing everything else, then that's going to take you 45 minutes to cook the rice. That doesn't seem like a sensible idea. So that's what I do. I always usually put the date on it. I hadn't done that. I ran out of the marking pencil. So I've got a stir fry now, chopsticks if you want to try and handle them, the rice thing that goes with it. And really, I took time to explain it to you. It's about 10-15 minutes of actual cooking time, a little longer when it comes to chopping up the vegetables. And sometimes you can go to a store and get all the stir-fried vegetables already chopped up by somebody else. I just love doing it myself. Okay, have a go. It's fun.